Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Yep, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee. Envy is not here, but we have the AEW, the TBS.
The undefeated
TBS
champion.
Yes, champion Jade Cargill here.
Yes,
How
of
are
all
you?
Elite Wrestling. I'm doing great. How are you doing, Charlamagne?
I am blessed, black, and highly favored.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Absolutely.
That was a great intro.
Well, I'm so glad we got you up here. I saw Mark Henry the other day.
Yes.
And his main thing was, look, you got to get Jade on. So I know that early on he played an instrumental role in your career.
Yes. He was actually the person who found me. He's actually my father in wrestling. So he's the man. He's a legend. I mean, super nice, super knowledgeable in the game.
Oh, and that's a thing, fathers in wrestling?
Well, he found me, and he's the one who coached me and told me how the business is, because it's not an easy business to be into.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the one who, if I do something wrong, he's the one that I go to, and he's the one that's going to tell me how it is and probably go off on me.
Now, where did he find you at? I know you were a successful fitness model before wrestling, right? So where did he find you at?
We had a mutual friend, and she called me up and said, hey, you ever thought about wrestling? And me, 5 years ago, if you told me I was going to be a wrestling, I was like, what? Wrestling? Like, what is that? So I went to a tryout. It went great. I was asked to do it. It lit a fire under my butt, and I just couldn't let it down. Like, this is not easy. There's so many different layers to wrestling that people don't get. Mm-hmm. And so for me to go in and be an amateur at it and not be as great as I was in basketball, because I went overseas to play basketball, it was like, I have to do this. Like, it's something in this that I cannot put down.
So I read your Players Tribune article, which I thought was amazing and fascinating. It's the kind of thing that I think maybe other people might not have thought about wrestling as something that they could do, young girls.
Yes.
But then they would read that and be like, that's something that maybe I would, find fascinating to do, because you were an athlete, but you weren't a gymnast.
Yes.
And
no,
so,
I wasn't. No.
Right. And I think you said Mark Henry said, can you do a handstand?
He said, can you do a handstand for 10 minutes? I said, yeah, I can do a handstand for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
He's like,
right.
all right, let's go. I can.
You could at the time, too?
Yeah, I could.
Wow.
I'm super athletic, and I played basketball. So I was a fitness model, and I did all that after the fact. And I'm a child psychologist, guys. So I'm a certified child psychologist.
Okay.
Yes. So I went overseas. Women basketball at the time didn't make a lot of money. So that's why I went off and did something else. It was my second chance at sports again. So I'm like, why not?
You know what else I find this hard to believe, because I saw the exchange between you and Bow Wow. And I was like, is this part of wrestling? Is it, because sometimes every time something happens, you're like, okay, is this to promote another thing?
And I know Bow Wow wants to get into wrestling.
Listen, who is that?
Shad Moss.
Who is that? Who? Bow Wow. So listen, I don't know what he thought he was gonna do. I have an amazing man at home. And the fact that he added me and said he wanted to take me to dinner, that was just wild. Like, that was
maybe he just didn't know, though.
You can easily Google or look at any of my interviews. You looked up my Players Tribute. Like, I talk about him all the time because I wouldn't be able to do it without him. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, who do you think you are to at me and to say something like that? And for me to say, oh, you can't afford me, I meant what I said. Right. I meant what I said. And it is what it is. And people get mad at that all they want, but it is what it is.
I saw you say, we rich, baby. Yeah. Real life.
No, yeah, we are. That's my money. So it is what it is.
And your husband played professional baseball.
Yeah, 17 years.
17 years. So I want to talk about that, because sometimes people said when you were first starting, let's see if she's serious about this.
Yeah.
Because you are rich, and you guys, it's not something that you needed to do. Was it something that was going to be like a flash in the pan, a little hobby, and then quit?
Yeah.
Did you ever, what were some of the things early on that were really hard for you that maybe made you feel like, I don't know if this is for me? Or was there anything?
Getting slammed.
So I slam people. I love when people tell me I cannot do something. I love it because that's fine. I'm going to prove you wrong, and I'm going to do it 10 times over, and I'm going to smile in your face. I played sports. I'm an athlete, so I'm that cocky person that's always in your face, that's always going to prove you wrong. So my entire life, I've dealt with people who love to tell me who I was, and I love proving them wrong. Not just for myself, but just to be like, who are you to determine somebody else's success? Mm-hmm. So in this industry, a lot of people work in on the indies, which is like house shows, like in gyms, like they're really working their ass off to make it to the grand stage, which is TV. I knew this is what I wanted to do. I knew I was determined. I knew I had what it took, and nobody was going to take it from me. It was hard at first, but I debuted with Shaquille O'Neal.
I saw that.
I mean, he's a superstar himself. He looked at me and said, don't embarrass me.
Who has ever had such a big debut?
That's what I'm saying. It seems like you were set up for success.
On television with Shaq.
I don't know, unless like somebody's father's in the industry. No, nobody else.
That felt like a shot.
Nobody else. I mean, I'm just saying, unless your father's in the industry or you're like a second, third generational wrestler, you really don't have that type of debut. And I would have never got a better debut anywhere else besides AEW. So I'm super proud to work for this business.
How did that happen?
For AEW?
Yeah.
Oh, with Shaq, we already had a previous relationship just knowing each other. And organically, he was like, I want to wrestle.
Wow.
And me thinking, what? Like, how tall are you? Like, you really want to do this? You never wrestled in a day in your life. Like,
No, I think he did back in the day with WWE.
He didn't do anything, really. No, he didn't do anything. He didn't take any bumps like that.
Okay.
So for me, at his age, I was like, is this what you really want to do? And he said, he's Shaquille O'Neal. So as you guys know, he feels like he can do any and everything. And somebody of that caliber, you probably feel like you can't even bleed at that time. So I was like, all right, is this what you really want to do? He said, yeah, this is what I really want to do. I was like, all right, let's do it. Like, why not?
So AEW really didn't know what they had at first then?
No, not at all. And I was actually going between this company and the other company at the same time. So I was going back and forth. But, you know, we have an owner, Tony Khan, who's hungry. He owns the Jaguars. He owns a soccer team, Fulham, in England. And
he used to own that hotel right next door.
Yeah, he owns everything. The man is a billionaire.
The Roxy.
I love the fact that he treats us like athletes. And he understands, like, we need mental health days. Like, we need time off. We have families at home. I have a 5-year-old daughter, so I want to be there as much as I can for her. And that's the reason why I chose this company over the other company. And they seen something in me, and they don't treat me like a number. Like he was willing to listen to my dream and what I wanted and said, okay, I believe in you, and we're going to make this happen.
You know what? I feel like it's also probably good, I was thinking about that too, that you didn't come up wanting to be a wrestler because WWE might have felt so huge that you could have just made that decision just for that name and that brand alone, but you did something that was more logical for you. And then meeting him and then having that connection and feeling like, okay, they're going to give me, because that's a huge platform, the way that you even came out.
Yes.
And that probably wouldn't have happened anywhere else.
No, it wouldn't have, but at the end of the day, I didn't know about AEW at first. So when I discovered the company and I dug more into it, I wanted to, just because I was Jade Cargill, a brand, before I got into wrestling. And I wanted to keep all that. Like, I have an LLC, I have all that. So I didn't want to build myself up, work for a company, and they take everything from under you. And then it's like, who am I?
Right.
Like, I made this name, like, I made this whatever name they give you, because you can't run with your name. So it's like I made this name, and then like they're taking everything from me. And then you sit back and you're like, who am I? Who am I without wrestling? So I learned from the previous generation of wrestlers what to do and what not to do. So
you did
I wanted
a lot
to be
for them, because even seeing you with Trina, that made it on all the vlogs.
The baddest. She was great. She was super great. Super kind woman, grown woman. Came in with so much respect. I mean, Fabulous was there. The whole culture was there. And just to see the culture embrace wrestling right now, like, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for the culture. I want us to, like, watch more wrestling and get more into it, because we need that.
I think we always have, though. I think it's a resurgence.
When I go to shows, I rarely see us in the wave. So when I'm like, I look for that little black girl, that little black boy. Like, I look for that black man or that black woman out there, because I'm going to give them that acknowledgement. Like, this is an industry that's not, I wouldn't say it's not for us. Like, we're paving our way. We have 2 black women wrestling champions who are doing the damn thing, and we're doing it damn good. But it's like, it's still a fight that we still have to fight for. Like, it's more them than us in this industry. So I just want us to be there for each other, support one another, and to keep pushing one another.
And you're the first black woman to be on the cover of a wrestling game, too.
Surprisingly, right?
Yeah.
It's 2022? And, like, I'm the first one. That was to me, that was pretty shocking for me to find out. But it's a blessing in disguise, and our company is well aware of all of that and about diversity and just wanting to be better and making the industry of wrestling better, because before us, it was a monopoly.
Do celebrities getting involved help or hurt the sport?
I think it helps because it brings more awareness. Like Bow Wow right now, him trying to get, I guess, his little notoriety, whatever he's trying to get. It's helping out the industry a little bit, because people probably like, and this is what I like. People can look at that and be like, who the hell is this woman? But guess what they're going to do? They're going to go and look at that wrestling clip and see what I can do. And that's what I like. Like, my fashion and what I do, maybe I don't spark that wrestling fan, but I'm here to spark that wrestling fan's girlfriend who thinks I look damn good, and she's like, damn, what does she do? Like, damn, her body looks great. Let me see what she does. What's her workout regimen? Like, that's me. I want to engage the outside, not the normal wrestling fan base. Like, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
But as far as celebrities, I think it helps to a certain extent, but it also can make our sport look
Fake.
easy.
A little fake,
Yeah.
too.
And this shit hurt. Like, this hurts. Like, all this hurts. Like, I do this because I am passionate about it and I really want to do it because, honestly, I could sit on my ass and be with my man and travel the world like he wants me to do in his retirement. But I love it. I want to do it. But it hurts. Like, all this hurt. These bumps hurts. Like, the first day I went to training, I was covered in bruises. Like, the ropes are cords. Like, literally cords. And it's not a trampoline. Like, it's a thin-ass mat on it. All this stuff hurt. It's just your body gets used to it, and you love it. Like, I can't wait to bleed for the first time. That sounds wild, but, I mean, like...
Did your husband tell you, like, why do you want to do this when you first...
I get it every week.
I
get that every week. Yeah, like, why do you want to do this? Because I go home and, like, I'm in pain, and I'm trying to make as much time as I can, not splitting between a sport that I didn't love, like, didn't want to do my entire life. I love it now. I want to give as much as I can to it. And then I have to split time between my home life because we travel literally every week. I'm going to be home for like a day and a half, for example. And then I have to split time between my daughter. So he asks me every week, why do you want to do it? Like, we're good. You don't need to do this. And I'm like, this is great, but I want to create something for myself. Like, it's great that he has everything set up for me and himself and our family. I'm very fortunate to have that, but I want a legacy for myself. And I want my daughter not only to look at her father and say, my dad does this. I want her to say, my mom does this. And
That's
everybody's
real.
like, whoa, she's a wrestler. Like, that is what I'm here for. Like, I don't want to be any role model for anyone besides my daughter. I want her to be a strong little black girl that knows she can do any and everything at any age as long as she has her mind and her body ready to go.
Now, I know you're recognized as one of the fastest rising stars in professional wrestling, right?
Yes.
But how do you make sure you're moving correctly? It's one thing to move fast, but how do you know you're moving correctly?
I have a great team. I have people like Mark Henry, Don. I have AB. I have Chris Jericho. I have Bryan Danielson.
Chris Jericho.
I know, he's the man.
Wow.
He's the man. He was just on The Masked Singer. I have people like that who see success in me and believe that I can do this, regardless of the obstacles and the ignorance that I have in this sport. I have people like that see something glorious in me and know that I can take this to the next level and be the next best thing, and I know I can.
How do you take care of yourself? Like you said, you come home with bruises. I'm sure your body aches, hurts. What do you do to make sure that it's not anything like permanent, or, do you do a lot of massages? What is it that you do for self-care?
Because I played basketball prior to this, I kind of know to take the ice baths, get a massage. Like, more than anything, wrestling is it's physical, but it's a mental sport as well. Like, I'm a bad guy. I adore to be hated. So all that stuff on this, yes, I love, like, the Shade Room, like, all those people writing that stuff. That was great for me. I was like, yes. And, like, all my friends and family, they were all, like, upset, like, what is this? Like, I'm so upset. I'm like, please don't write a comment. Like, leave it alone. Like, I love this. This is what I'm supposed to do, because I'm trying to make the 90s back. Like, I'm trying to make people like, this shit is real. Like, I'm a freaking heel. Like, hate me. Like, I'm used to getting cheers, but because of basketball, and that my cheers now are the boos. Obviously, I still get cheers because I look good, but I'm trying to get as much hate as possible, because my job is to make the good guy look invincible and to look great. So if I'm over there getting cheered, they're not looking so great at the end of the day. But I take care of my mind and body at home with my family, and knowing that my spouse understands, as an athlete, what it takes to be successful.
When it comes to also being certified as a child psychologist, how does that help you?
A lot of ways. Again, it's a mental sport, so I know I'm able to go home, take a deep breath, relax, and to, like, block everything out, because it's in this world is so many different bubbles. So there's a wrestling bubble, there's a rap bubble, there's a pop bubble, there's all kind of bubbles out there. So I'm able, thankfully, again, I have a spouse at home and I have family at home that don't understand wrestling, that I can go home and just put my phone down and just lay back and relax. And if I do get really hyped up about something, I'm able to have somebody to sit me down and say, Jade, breathe. This is realistic. This is not. You can step outside of this. And then I have Brandon every week, like, do you really want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, if it's too much, don't, like, it's okay. Don't burn yourself out. But it's easy for me because I have coping mechanisms. Like, I know how to deal with people in certain situations. Like, being an athlete, I just know what it takes to be successful in this game.
Now explain this belt to me, right?
Yes.
Like, you're the first and only TBS champion. But WrestlingHeadlines.com says Nyla Rose continues to hold the belt hostage. What does that mean?
So this is a replica right now.
Oh,
and
she got the real one.
She stole my belt, yes. So she stole my belt. I don't really want to go into details because I'm really angry about that. But we have a pay-per-view match this Saturday at the Prudential Center in New Jersey.
AEW?
Yes.
Full gear?
Full gear, where I know I'm going to get my belt back, whoop that ass, and head home to my beautiful family.
What if she don't bring the real belt?
She has to. Where she's gonna get another one? Like, I don't know. And I have to bring this belt because obviously I'm doing press and all that kind of stuff. So they made this for me. But I mean, it's a lot of things it's not as heavy. It's a lot of things I don't want to talk about. But like, I'm gonna get my belt.
It's
back.
emotional.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I worked for my belt. Like I worked for my belt. Like I can't remember how many days I am, but I mean, I got it January 5th, and I just been freaking killing it. So for the fact that she could just take it, make jokes out of it, and do I look like a joke? I'm not a joke.
But psychologically, you know, maybe she feels like she's gonna get under your skin.
That's what she's trying to do. So it's working. It's working. It's
Is Bow Wow
working.
gonna walk her out this weekend?
Who?
Ooh, that would be
his name.
smart. That would be smart. Listen, he also tweeted that Sunday he's gonna be in Miami, and he left you some meet and greet passes.
Do I look like a fan? I mean, is this the early 2000s? Y'all tell me. No, I'm good. I'm good. But he's talking a good game, so let's see what's up because what is he, like 4 foot tall? Like, it's going to be a joke. I don't have time for this. Y'all already know what it is. If our owner lets us have a match where I can whoop his ass, I will. Because he's been running his mouth way too much. My man has been way too calm. And it ain't sweet. It's not sweet at all.
Now, how did you explain to your daughter when she had to watch you at first and be like, look at mommy, like she's, you know, fighting? Yeah. And how do you explain that to her? Because she's only 5.
We grew up in wrestling together. So my first experience in the ring after my tryout, I was wrestling men that were like 300 pounds. She would cry. Like, she would be there in her stroller crying, and I would have to go over and soothe her and say, Mommy's okay. Like, I'm about to go whoop some butt. Now she's my wrestling partner. She loves it. I'm a superhero in her eyes, so don't tell her different. But she thinks I'm out there every day, like, just going out there and saving the world. When in reality, I'm really, like, causing harm to it. But she doesn't know that.
What if she goes to school and she's, like, trying to fight people?
She already put a kid in a chokehold before. So
That's
she
what I'm
goes
talking
with,
about.
yeah, she's but it was a little boy, so I wasn't that upset. But also he pulled her hair. But she's a very calm little girl, and because I try to apply a little bit of psychology to like me childbearing, I just tell her, you know, like, stay calm, like, go tell the teacher. Obviously, we've told our teacher a couple times, like, somebody touches my kid, like, she gonna touch her back.
Right.
But
You're gonna slam 'em.
exactly. And they're aware of that. So if anything happens, like, I'm like, listen, and that's how they found out when she she actually speared a kid. And she's at one of those schools that is like 3 strikes you're out. Very, like, nice, prim, proper school. And I had to go explain to him, like, listen, I wrestle. She goes in my matches. I'm so sorry. I apologize. She's not this type of girl. But I'm pretty sure she was defending herself. And so they were like, well, don't let this happen again. And that's when she put somebody in chokehold. And we were like, all right, well, no more pay-per-view shows, okay? Like, we don't know what it's going to take. But it's the one thing. We're going to put her in tennis next year. But it's the only sport that we've put her in so far we haven't put her in wrestling, but it's the only sport that she's seen so far that she gravitates to. And I'm not a big fan of that. But, like, if that's what she wants to do after she gets her degree or whatever, then we can explore it because I'm going to support my daughter 120%.
You've been wrestling, what, 2 years?
Barely 2 years, yes.
And you're undefeated.
Yep.
So I saw this movie before with Goldberg.
Okay.
Do you think the success will continue once you lose? Will you have the same allure?
So we're talking Jade Cargill here. So I'm going to lose the belt on my time. I'm going to drop my belt on my time. I've built this belt up. I am the first. I am undefeated. I am the first black champion to hold this belt, obviously. But it's all on my time, and I'm going to go for the main belt. Only reason why I haven't gone for the main belt that we have is because these women have put in a lot of time, like 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to let these ladies get as much shine as they can before I go out there and take what's deserving of mine. So it's all on my time. Whoever, if I want to be a 2-belt holder, like, and I can do it all. Like, nobody else looks like me, talks like me, walks like me. Nobody's Jade Cargill. So it's all on my time.
Now, I love the fact that you got the silver hair because I heard you wanted to play Storm one day.
I would love to play Storm. Yeah, she's an idol. Always growing up, I've loved Storm. I've cosplayed Storm 101 times. She's a strong Black African woman, and I know I stand for all those qualities. You know, I have, like I said, I have a strong Black girl at home. I have a strong Black man at home. Like, I am the representation of our culture in wrestling right now, one of the women. And I believe I can represent Storm to the 15th power if Marvel just calls me. But I would love that. Would love to do it. I'm taking acting classes and everything for it. But that's one a dream. That's a dream of me.
Have you had your people reach out, like really, like reach out to get a tryout or something, audition?
So I'm trying to look into it. I haven't heard much about Storm, like as far as anything rebooting. But I would love to play. Last was Halle Berry.
No, it was one after Halle Berry. I can't remember her name right now, though.
Well, it was a series, though, right?
No, it was a movie. It was the movies. They rebooted the X-Men movies, but they're introducing mutants again in the MCU now. Yeah.
Hello, Marvel. My name is Jade Cargill. Yeah. I work for AEW. I already have the improv down. I already have everything that you need. I have the body. You don't have to add any of the extra stuff. I am it.
Stay ready. You ain't gotta get ready.
I already got the hair. I mean, holla at me. But we're DC, so AEW's DC. So that's the issue that we're having. But listen, hello, Marvel. The Rock can do it. He's back and forth.
That's
so
right.
I mean,
they'll make an exception for
right.
you.
Right.
I would love that. Let's go.
Now, using your real name too, Jade Cargill.
Yes.
How is that a benefit for you? And then is there anything that you feel like that's detrimental with that? Because I'm sure all your old classmates, everybody that knew you when you were younger, your teammates, everybody's like, that's Jade Cargill.
Mm-hmm. So my character is nothing but an extension of myself. I'm a very confident woman. I know myself. I'm not going to let anybody tell me who I am. But Jade Cargill on TV is like a bitch. Like, don't try her. But everybody has two sides, right?
A heel.
I'm a super sweet woman, but everybody in this room has two sides. If somebody tries you, you'll curse them out. You'll go off. Like, everybody has that side. So I'm cool, calm. If you've noticed, if you watch our product, everybody comes at me. Like, I'm super calm, and then somebody comes out and interrupts whatever I'm doing, and then I have to turn up and say, what the hell were you thinking? Like, I'm this and that. And then, again, I bring it back to me being an athlete. I'm just confident. I'm cocky. I know who I am. I'm going to go in there and talk my crap to your face, and you're not going to do nothing about it. So people at home who see me, they know this is who I am. And in high school, I got in trouble a lot because I was so confident and cocky, and I would talk a lot of crap. So I'm pretty sure they're probably smiling like, yup, I told y'all, because that's exactly what I used to be. So they know it's me, but they know the character I'm portraying on TV is just an extension of who I am.
Do other wrestlers tell you, like, this isn't normal, Jade? This early success you're having, like, those, it's not normal.
Yeah. A lot of people, but also I have a lot of people in my company and at home that keep me grounded. Mm-hmm. And because I see my spouse have this success in life, I already know what it takes, and I know how to be grounded because anything can be taken from you at any given moment. Mm-hmm. So I like to stay humble. Like, I like to understand these things can happen because tomorrow I might ask a friend for money because something happens to me, So I try to treat people like human freaking beings.
That's right.
One of the most important things that you can do.
Yes.
Who were some of the
Unless they try it.
Who were some of the classic wrestlers you looked up to growing up?
Chyna.
Oh,
Chyna was my
Chyna.
girl. She was my girl.
God bless the dead.
She was my. But see, I learned from her.
Yeah.
She ran with the name Chyna. She was stripped of her name, and then it was like an identity thing.
Okay.
So I learned from previous wrestlers and for the previous generation to represent myself, and nobody can take my name. This is my name.
Right.
Nobody's gonna take my name from me. Like I said, I have an LLC. Like, I'm gonna get into acting and all this stuff. So it's important to learn from the previous generation that is prior to you. But Chyna was my girl. Like, I looked at her. I grew up muscular, so I used to get picked on a lot, and people used to say, "Oh, she's so muscular. She looks like a man." All this kind of stuff. And I would go to my grandmother, and she would breathe confidence in me. And your support system at home is important. And I would see this girl on TV, this woman on TV, and I'm like, God damn, like, she looks good. Like, she looks great. Like, she's owning it. Look at that confidence. Like, her aura will come through the screen. And it just made me do nothing but love who I was.
And she did a lot outside of wrestling too. So.
Yeah, she did. She did do a bless her. I mean, she's RIP, but she did a whole lot of things outside of wrestling. But I learned from her, and I learned to love my body.
What are your other passions, too, outside of wrestling? We know you want to act.
Yes.
So we're with that. But what about, like, fashion, makeup, wigs, whatever? Like, what else would you see yourself getting into?
Fashion. I love fashion. And, again, this is me trying to reach out to different crowds. I love working with little girls when it comes to confidence and knowing who you are. Because with social media today, I feel like people they look at social media for validation. And they don't, especially kids today, and this is me being a psychologist, they don't know who they are. Like, we were outside playing, having fun. Like, we discovered trial and error to know what works and what doesn't. And kids today, like, I feel like they don't know.
At all. And
they think things are so easy. And don't get me wrong, some things are easy, but, like, life is not easy. And then they just give up. So, and I want these women to know, like, you don't need a man. Like, you don't need a man to do any of this. You can do things all on your own. And I want to set that example by doing my own damn thing. Like, we are strong women, and we can, with strong girls, strong women, we can do things. Like, just keep your mind clean and just focus.
What did your husband do to win you over, since you said you don't need a man? Because y'all have been together for a while, and you were, 22?
Yeah, I was 22.
When you met him?
Yes.
So what was it about him that made you say, all right, I'm really going to give him a shot?
He earned it. It was a lot of consistency because I was very focused on sports. Like, I was like, all right, another one. Okay, athletes. Oh, all right, gosh, the worst ones. He dated me. He dated me. And I think people today don't date. Like, or I feel as though women chase after men today. And, like, I don't see, like, a lot of dating. Like, I don't see a lot of romance. And he romanced me, and he spoke to me, and we became friends first. And that was important to me. And we had the same vision. And the fact that he was more so like, I want you to be your own individual self. And I'm going to be my own individual self. And we're going to formulate a household together. That was amazing to me.
How did the dynamics change when you were like, all right, I'm going to do this wrestling thing?
He wasn't happy. He wasn't happy at all. He was like, what? Like, this isn't what you want to be. You want to be a psychologist. Like, what? And I'm like, yeah, you met me when I was 22 years old, honey. Like, people change like 4 or 5 careers before then.
That's right.
Before 30. So I was just, he wasn't happy about it, but he was like, you know what? I know I'd rather have you go be successful than you to be at home and, like, holding it in and, like, being angry all the time. So he was on board. He understood, and being an athlete, that I felt like I had something left in the tank.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see the AEW. I would like to see an all-woman crew, like how they had, like, the 4 Horsemen and the NWO.
Well, we have the baddies right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the baddies. They're, like I said, I have the baddie section.
So that's permanent?
It's permanent. Well, for the moment. Let's see, because, you can't trust women too far. Right?
Yeah.
But I have the baddies, and they set up things for me. They handle my lightweight for me. They help me run this business and what I need to do, and to keep people in line at AEW in the women's locker room and the male's locker room whenever I get that chance.
Okay.
Well, we'll be paying attention on Saturday.
Yes,
this weekend.
Saturday at the Prudential Center. We have Full Gear this Saturday, and we have tonight Rampage at the Prudential Center at 10 as well.
AEW World Championship against Nyla Rose.
TBS Championship.
TBS Champion, my bad.
I'm going for that. Don't worry, I'm going for that. You'll be, next time you see me, you'll say the same thing. Yeah.
Is this where the Undefeated Streak ends this weekend?
Yeah, you don't have to go sit in the corner. What's wrong with him?
One more thing I want to ask you. And you're fully Jamaican, right?
Yes.
All right, so do you go back to Jamaica ever?
I haven't been in 2 years ever since I started wrestling, but I go back and forth. My family's from Portland, Jamaica. Let's go.
So they're going to love you when you go out.
They love it. They are more into track, but, I'm introducing something new to my family, and they're doing nothing but supporting everything I'm doing.
You got to pronounce baddies correctly in Jamaica. Then what you mean the Batis?
Bati, I know. Let's not even go down that rabbit hole. They'll get it. They'll see the beautiful women, and they'll say, all right, I get it. They love that, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Tell them where to find you, Jade.
You guys can find me on social, right? Social, Jade Cargill. That's Jade _CAR. Well, Jade CARGILL, and on Twitter, Jade _CARGILL. Is Twitter like a thing anymore right now?
I ain't been on Twitter in 4 years.
Well, you know what?
I hate Twitter.
We'll see what's going to end up happening because there's a lot of changes happening on Twitter. I saw that some of the people that worked at Twitter are trying to like start their own thing and get some funding because everybody's leaving with Elon Musk taking over and having all these demands.
That's what you need to call out. Get
you
Elon
should.
Musk
Maybe you
to come
should fight
up.
Elon Musk.
Listen, we on different pay grades. I'll admit that, all right? Listen, I don't want to fight him. Listen, but
You ain't gonna let Bow Wow stun on you, but Elon can stun on you.
I'm just gonna be quiet about that. That's a whole nother level. But the other guy, I don't even know who that is. We're not even on the same level. But I get rid of Twitter. I don't mind getting rid of Twitter at all.
I agree.
I am not a
Everybody's
fan.
like, bring back MySpace. MySpace is trending.
It used to be, but then like the top 8 is gonna cause a lot of issues with people. I'm
my
sure.
God. Can you imagine?
I'm pretty sure. I can imagine.
We wish you the best at Full Gear this weekend, Jade. Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.